Okay, so we're now doing the charge of the chasseurs against the flank of the British Line Infantry Regiment. I get a 7.
I got 10. So then I get.
Okay.
I'm not going to reroll actually. I'm
All
not
right.
gonna reroll.
Oh yeah, because you've got your supports. Yeah, I think if
going
I was
to-
you, I'd stay at 10.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I have a general attached. What is 11 minus 2 for being unformed.
Yeah.
What is 9? So I'm on
Yeah.
9.
Have you got any casualties on that unit?
No. You took 2 casualties in the charge.
You're charged in the flank, so that's -2 more.
Okay. But you have taken 2 casualties in the charge, which was -1 to you.
Yeah. Infantry in line versus cavalry is another -2 to you,
Okay,
Charlie.
can I re-roll?
No, don't, because you won't get better than a 4 on average. You can do if you want, but it might be worse.
I can re-roll it twice, remember, Dad?
Yeah.
I got 5.
Okay. You're going to re-roll it again?
No.
Okay. Let's start again with your adjustments.
So I'm on 12 with my...
You're on 12 with your general.
Yeah.
You're unformed, that's -2. Your infantry in line versus cavalry, that's another -2.
Yeah, that's it.
And you're charged in the flank, which is another -2.
So I'm on 6. You've taken
Yeah.
2 casualties in the charge.
Okay, so that's -1. And how many casualties have I got?
You have 2.
Okay, so that's just -1. So I was on 7, I'm now on 6.
I'm on 6 too.
Okay. We did have a discussion off camera as to whether the falter test applies now, instantly, or at the end of the charge phase. We agreed that all the charges happen simultaneously, so we'll apply the falter at the end of the phase rather than during the phase. Let us know down below if you think that's wrong. Okay, so it's 6-6, cavalry versus infantry. I think we'll probably just go into melee. Oh no. This is a bit depressing. On a 0 to -2, cavalry retire with 1 casualty. And we both take 1 casualty. My God, you've held off my flank charge. Let me just check my modifiers. I can't believe I haven't won this one. I've got my general attached.
Yeah, but your campaign cavalry.
Hang on again. So
Your campaign.
I'm desperate to win this one, as you can tell.
You only won by 1. You're on 3 now. You're on 8. You only won by 1.
I think I won by 1. That's right. So on a 1 to 2, I melee with a lamb. You melee unformed.
But Dad, I don't think I was unformed in that battle.
No, you melee unformed as a result of the charge.
I meant in the charge result, I was never unformed. You said I was. I was never unformed.
Okay, so let's just work that out again. You're on 12.
Yes.
You're not unformed.
No.
Oh, yes you are, because you tried to go into square and failed.
Oh yeah. So I am on 6. So we just made a...
So I'm on 7. So I win by 1. I have a LAN and you are unformed as you were. So we'll do that in the melee section. So it's being somewhat reckless, but still remembering my objectives and our orders for this brigade. We have done 2 charges here. We've charged and cleared away Charlie's skirmishers by the wood and are in supporting distance. And the 2nd Battalion has charged into the village again to try and push the Hanoverians out.
So
It's our best chance because they're unformed and that's a weaker unit than
how
his
many casualties
grenadiers.
have you taken?
So we'll do the charge results. This one has only taken 3 casualties because the heavily damaged one is up the back.
skirmish fire.
Yep.
That is another casualty.
Okay, so on 4, that's a bit unfortunate. That will give me a -1. Okay, let's roll the charge results as I try and charge into the village. 7, not great.
9.
Okay, so let's do the charges.
You are in line.
I'm going to put my general into this one.
Me too.
Okay.
So you are in line though, charging into a built-up area.
Yeah, I don't think that makes any difference. So I'm line your reservists. We've both got a general, so I still stay on +1. You're unformed.
Yeah.
So you go down to 7.
No, I go up to 8.
You were 9.
I got up to 8.
Okay. You
I was
are
on 10 because my plus
you
1
go
for my
down
general.
to 8.
For
Yeah.
my general.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on 7. Hang on.
I have 2
So hang on.
supports. I could re-roll, but I know.
I don't think you can support into a built-up area, but
You can.
I can check that.
Oh
if you
no,
like.
no, we don't do charge results.
We don't do charge results. I just charge straight in. Well done, Charlie. So anyway, I've charged in. That'll be.
But I still could do skirmish fire. I still did the skirmish
You still
fire.
get to do the skirmish fire and cause the casualty on me. All right, cool. I think that's all the charges finally done. We'll now crack on with movement in turn 7. Charlie's just taken great glee in pointing out that I forgot to charge the other village and pointing out that his KTL in the village had 8 casualties already on them, so it wouldn't stand up well to a charge. So my mistake. Thank you, Charlie, for pointing that out. He positively giggled with glee when he pointed out that I hadn't done that, and he's voluntarily retired his KGL lights and moved another KGL pretty much unwounded battalion into the village. He's moved his artillery forward. They're quite exposed over there, Charlie. You sure you're happy with that?
They're happy.
Yeah, they're happy. All right. Any other movement from the British sister, Charlie?
So I'm going to do a small trick of mine. It's called move up squares to block you off so you can't retreat and die. And you'll die. So I'm going to...
I think squares can only move 3 inches or something like
I'm
that.
actually
Like that, Charlie.
going to form a line with this battalion, Dad. I'm forming a line here.
Okay.
And next time I'm going to volley you because they're right in front of me. So
Yeah, you can't do that this time though, because I'm in hand-to-hand kind of combat.
So,
Okay, any other movement?
I'm going to... That's what I'm going to do.
Alright, you're leaving your guards where they are?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll get on and we'll do French movement. Okay, so not much movement for the French, a couple of units formed up, so we'll now be on to the shooting phase. Charlie, let's start with you.
So I'm going to shoot this artillery gun at that open guy. You may think there's infantry in the way, but they've charged in.
So what are you firing at?
So I'm shooting at that battalion who has 11 casualties.
And what you're saying, you can't shoot at the...
line because they've charged in.
Because they've charged in and they're actually swarming around the building, aren't they? So we'll move them because they're trying to fight to get in the building. Unfortunately, I think as much as that looks a bit weird, I think that is probably an equally close target.
And even if you don't, I can shoot that one too.
The only other close French unit is the retreating cavalry down here as well. They both look about the same distance. So, okay, yeah, John, you can fire.
Actually, I'm going to shoot this one first.
Okay, at them. All right.
Oh, 3.
Okay, that's a fatigue casualty.
I'm going to shoot another one. A 7. That's 1 casualty. It's gone.
I don't think so. It's only on 8.
It's half. It's a half casualty.
Okay, 4, 5 or 6 then?
No, it wasn't on 8. It was way higher.
No, it's on 8.
Okay, casualty.
It's on 9 now.
Wouldn't your skirmishers be with them because there's no one?
No, my skirmishers are fine. They're facing nothing against yours.
So I'm going to also shoot.
Why not start up here and be methodical? Oh, yeah. So you've got your line.
I'm going to shoot
your elite skirmishers.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot my elite skirmishers at your skirmishers, so you get
1 dice.
1 dice, yeah.
Could you? Okay.
Nothing.
4, nothing.
I'm going to volley your skirmishers.
No, you can't, because your own skirmishers are in the way of your own volley, so you can't volley with that unit. You need to move the skirmishers out of the way.
I'm going to up here now. I'm going to shoot this barn building at that.
Okay. 3 shots for firing.
1 casualty.
What did you get?
I got 4.
You need a 5.
I thought of infantry. You need 4.
No, it's 5 for shooting out of buildings because they fire like skirmishers.
I'm going to shoot my skirmishers at your ADC because he's in the way.
Okay, that's 1 shot at my skirmishers then, Charlie.
No, because your skirmishers are out of the way. I can shoot at those guys.
You can shoot at the guys behind.
2 dice.
If it's within 9, that's the only thing. Oh no, it's 12, isn't it, for skirmishers? Yeah, I'm sure that's fine.
1 casualty onto them.
Alright, we'll mark that up. Is that the end of your firing, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so turn 7 French shooting. My skirmish screen. Quite a lot of skirmishes here, so skirmish screen of 5 or 6 bases is 4 dice. We're going to fire them, we'll fire 1 dice at your skirmishers and 3 dice into the battalion behind. Is that alright?
I think so.
Because we want to, we'll do half and half. We'll do 2 against the skirmishers, which goes down to 1 because they're a skirmish target. No, and then 2 against the battalion. 1 casualty against your guards. Then this artillery battery is going to fire at the guards. Skirmishers don't have any effect at that range. We'll be doing ball shot. I think that's 9.
They're shooting through a forest.
No, they're firing that way. That's absolutely fine. We'll just check the range, see if that's long or medium range. So that was at effective range. That was 2 casualties and a discipline test. Do you want to do the discipline test on them, Charlie?
-1, that's all.
-1. Ah, but they're guards, so they get... What did you roll? You rolled a 3.
+1.
So 3 -1 for 4 casualties, so they're down to 2. They're elites, so that's +2, so that takes them to 4. Whoa, you're lucky.
They're unformed.
That would have been retreat and lose 1d3 casualties.
They're
Otherwise,
unformed.
so they are indeed simply unformed. Doing a bit better over here now, Charlie. I don't want to worry you, but I think we might win this flank.
No, you won't. I do better up here too. So.
My artillery down here is screened by my own retreating cavalry. Up here, then we've got my skirmish screen. Okay, we're going to fire the skirmishes into the flank of those light dragoons who have just moved up.
Only 2 of them can shoot that. All the others have to shoot the village.
I've got 3. I think I can shoot at them. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 can fire at the village. So the 3 against the light cavalry. 3 casualties against the light dragoons. Sorry, the hussars.
These ones.
1 in the front of them. Those ones. Then we'll fire 4, which goes down to 3 into the village. 1 casualty onto the village. So there's 1 casualty in the village, Charlie. And then we're going to fire my artillery into the village for the first time. Yeah, I don't think I can see the battalion that's hiding behind. Can't do a Charlie trick. 5, that won't be anything. I will just check, but that might be a fatigue casualty even. Alright.
It just won't be anything. We'll find it's nothing, always nothing. It's
yeah,
never.
but I'm firing into a built-up area, so it'll be a negative for me, so I might get a fatigue casualty on myself. Alright, we'll come back and do hand-to-hand, of which there's a fair bit in this round. Okay, let's start with Charles requested we start with his flank charge against my light cavalry. So we both start with 5 dice. 5.
I have Elan.
So you gain 1?
Yeah.
I'm unformed. Am I unformed?
Yes, you are.
Was I unformed?
It looks like you're unformed.
I countercharged, so I'm not unformed.
You're flanked.
We just moved them like that because we couldn't work out quite how to position them.
You're flanked.
Yeah, I don't think flank counts. We'll see.
Oh,
on this
you're
one.
campaign cavalry.
Yeah, that's in charges as well. So you're not elite, you're not heavy, you're not formed lancers, you're not a lance unit. I am a small unit, so I lose 1 combat dice. Oh no, I'm not. I'm 5 bases.
I'm 6.
It's the other ones that are small.
I'm 6.
Yeah, but you need to be 8 bases, I think, to be a large unit. We're both on the same morale. You get 1 extra dice because you're meleeing with Elan. How many casualties have you got, Charlie?
0.
Okay, I've got 0. Attacking the flank or rear. So I do lose 1 dice for being in the flank or rear. Although it was a counter charge, I still don't know. It seems unrealistic for me that they would have had a chance to wheel round. So we're going to play it as a flank.
Too close to right here.
That's what I think. I agree with you, Charlie. So we're going to play it as a flank charge. But if anyone thinks that's wrong, let us know. All right. What do you get, Charlie?
I got 5 casualties.
You got 5. I've got 1. They're going to rout. Okay, we'll just do that. Okay, having routed from that one, we're now going to do the first chasseurs into the flank of Charlie's line infantry unit. So I start with 5 dice.
You're a small unit.
I'm a small unit. I lose 1 for being a small unit. Charlie,
you're a routing unit. You're a routing unit.
I'm not a routing unit. I've got a land.
I mean, you're faltering. That's what I meant. You're faltering your whole.
Yeah, falter doesn't apply to melee results, I don't think. We'll just check. We'll go through it. I'm not elite, I'm not heavy, I'm not lancers. I'm a small unit, so I go down to 4. With the same morale, I'm meleeing with a land, aren't I? So I got up to 5. I've got... How many casualties have I got, Charlie?
You got 3, and that's
Okay.
from the combat and everything.
Yeah, that's from the shooting. And I'm attacking... That's it. So I stay on 5 dice.
And I'm on 4 because I'm flanked, and that's all.
That's it. Okay, let's roll. Let's see how we do. French get 4. This could be good.
British get 2.
Okay, so cavalry have beaten infantry by 2. Cavalry versus infantry. Losing infantry are disperse.
How? They've only taken two. They now have only two casualties.
Yeah, but they've been ridden down by cavalry. You really don't want to. If you're in square, you're really, really solid. If you're not in square and you lose combat, you're in bad state. So that will be a Falter test against that British brigade. Fingers crossed for the French. It's looking dire in the left flank, but not too bad in the centre. Although I have had 2 cavalry units routed and have to do a Falter test on the cavalry as well. So we'll see how things go. We'll do the combat in the village in a second. Okay, doing the combat in the village. I start with 5 dice. I lose 2, 1 for charging a built-up area and 1 for having 4 casualties. Charlie, you are unformed, and you're a lower. I don't know whether a lower morale grade
It's
applies
only for
on
charges.
this one.
That's only for charges.
No, I get an extra dice for higher morale grade. So I'm back on 4. You start on 5, Charlie, and you're unformed, which takes you down to 4. Okay, so it's 4 against 4. Let's see how we do. French just get 1 casualty.
And the British get 2.
2. It's a built-up area though, so we can fight a second round of
I'm going to
combat.
fight second round so my elite troops can come in.
So I take 2 and you take 1. Alright, so next round of combat.
Give me 6 casualties.
We'll mark up the casualties actually, because I'll need those dice. Right, the French were going to push in, but I've just realised that again Charlie has got 2 battalions in support here, both of guards. So he's going to have a massive number of dice, and he's going to have the advantage of being in the built-up area. I don't think I'm going to have enough to push him out. Mind you, on the other hand, it might be all or nothing. If we don't do it this turn, we're probably not going to do it at all. We're going to go for it, Charlie. We're going to try and break into the village. Let's do the combat for round 2. We've come to the other end of the table because there are so many dice to roll in this combat. So for the French, wow, I've got lots of 6s. That's 5 casualties from the French.
The mighty British, they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. Okay, that does not sound good. I think the British will have certainly expelled the French
I've destroyed
from
that
the
tiny.
village. So how many did I cause?
You caused
5. So you've won by 3, and we're doing infantry in the built-up area. I retreat, and I need to take all those casualties.
5.
Okay, well it was all or nothing, and unfortunately it turns out to be nothing. So I took a horrendous amount of casualties. The battalion assaulting the village was wiped, and the supporting battalion had a retreat result, and unfortunately being close to the table edge, it has fallen back off the table. So the brigade will have to do a Falter test, which will be tough, and from an activation perspective it'll now need a 5 to activate as it's a broken brigade. I don't want to lose it though, because it does allow me to keep this artillery battery active and on the table. Right, we now move on to a really important section for ADCs, as I've got 2 Falter tests to take, and indeed Charlie has a Falter test too for his British brigade. Okay, let's start with activation in turn 8. Charlie.
So I'm going to roll for my KGL first. They are
Hesitant.
active, I re-roll.
Okay.
I'm going to roll for my guards.
Okay.
Active. My hand of are hesitant, and now my Falter test. I do get a
Alright.
re-roll.
Oh, no, cavalry as well.
Oh yeah, cavalry. Oh, well, so this is a roll for the cavalry.
Okay,
so they're
they're
hesitant, but that's fine.
Okay, so Falter test.
They are 2, re-roll. 5, they're nothing.
They're
happens.
rally.
They're rally. So
Okay, so
nothing
they're nothing bad, and you need to put a Falter marker on your Hanoverians and your cavalry.
not Falter, hesitant.
Hesitant. All right. We'll now roll for the French. Starting on the right with our small brigade, active. Our big brigade, hesitant. That's a pain. Put a marker on it. Then the Falter test on my light cavalry, which have got a re-roll. 6 rally. That's fine. And then the Falter test on my fragile brigade.
3, they're
3.
gone.
They're
They're
gone
gone. They
off
all
the
retire.
table. Yeah. All right. That's my left-hand brigade gone. Oh my gosh, we'll have to do some serious thinking in turn 8. Okay, well now the French really don't have a left flank. The brigade has collapsed and fallen back off the table. So we're all concentrated in the right-hand side of the table. We do still have our reserves of our heavy cavalry brigade,
But they haven't been on too much because there've been too many falters for you.
Yeah, I've had too many filters and other requirements for my ADCs, and it shows one of the great things I like about the General Dame rules. There's always more that you want to do than you have command dice to do it, so it creates a degree of uncertainty and not everything gets to move and fire every turn. Alright Charlie, what's your plan? What are you going to move this turn? Do you want to give a quick overview of what you're planning?
So I'm going to start moving up all my troops up here, because I need, but also the one thing, this won't move because he needs to keep his tea and biscuits safe, so that's why he's staying back there. I'm going to hold this village for as long as I can, waiting for my guard battalions to come down, and I'm going to get my heavy cavalry to try and either destroy the rest of the French cavalry or wreak havoc, because they're going to come back from here.
Right.
And wreak havoc through here, and I'm going to deploy my artillery guns and start shelling you at close range into your cannons, who actually I don't think really will want to shoot at me. They will probably focus on their assaults up there, so I can just pepper them down, hopefully. Or I might just start peppering down those guys up there and taking them out.
Alright, let's get on with the English movement.
Bye.
Okay, so we're just starting shooting in turn 8.
So I'm going to shoot my battery at your cavalry.
These guys down here?
8 casualties, yeah, the ones with 8 casualties.
Yeah, sure, they're the closest target. Long range.
7. I mean 8, yes, 8, that's 8. That's 8.
Okay, just need to get the right chart. And that was an 8 at long range, is 1 casualty.
I'm going to sing with the other one.
We'll mark that up in a second.
That's cocked. They got 9.
No, okay.
The same target.
Okay, which one was that from?
The same from that one up there.
I don't think that one up there can see the 8. They can
At
see
that.
this lot.
That's how I'm. See how many casualties?
9 at long ranges, 1 casualty and a discipline test.
So you have to do a discipline test at minus.
-1. They're fine. Okay.
So now up here, I'm going to shoot my cannon at close range at your cannon.
I think that's at effective range because it's not less than 12 inches, is it,
I
Charlie?
think, yeah, it won't be that far.
But it'll be at -4
Okay.
because it's unlimbering and... Oh no, you didn't move this turn, it's just unlimbering, so it's at -2.
That's 6, so that would be just nothing.
Is nothing. Alright.
Um,
Any other firing? You're firing from the village.
My village at your skirmishes.
2 shots.
1 casualty.
Okay.
Taking a casualty. I'm going to shoot. No, actually, I can't.
I think that's pretty much
my
it, isn't it,
skirmishes up
Sharon?
here.
Yeah.
Shooting at
Those
that.
skirmishes will go.
1 casualty.
Okay. Alright. We'll mark those casualties up. Is that it? I think that is it. Pretty much everything else is out of range. Okay, well it's not a total lost cause. We might have a reasonably good firing turn. So Charlie's glorious success in wiping out my cavalry has unmasked this foot artillery battery, which I myself had hidden with my own cavalry. That can have a go at his light dragoons. And I've also deployed and unlimbered my horse artillery, which was backing up that light artillery.
Will that be
light
a
cavalry
-2
brigade.
because it's just.
It will be at -2 because it's deployed. So we'll do the horse artillery first. It's at short range. 5 -2 is a fatigue casualty. Alright, that's pretty rubbish. And the other one at short range, yes, 12.
That actually won't be able to see it.
That's 5 casualties and a discipline
That
test.
won't be able to see. I don't think I'll be able to see, Dad.
And the destiny test, we'll check that in a second, is a 3. Steady the buff to recover 1 casualty. So I don't have any, so that would have no effect. Unfortunately, the British cavalry got a 11 or something in their discipline test, so they've passed that. They have taken 5 casualties, but they did only have 1 before that, and that other horse artillery battery whiffing was very disappointing. Right, I'll fire my column. So this will be at half effect into the British Hussars. An 8.
A half effect,
They haven't moved, those ones.
They'll have to reform.
No, they didn't. They stayed in column.
Half effect, no.
Ah, they did reform. You were right.
Yeah.
They were unformed. So that'll be an inferior volley, and an 8 is
Half
2
effect.
casualties. Half effect is 1.
Yeah.
So that's 1 on the Hussars, not on the light dragoons.
On
On the red guys, yeah. Okay, and then I'll fire my square at the same thing. They are also an inferior volley, as 6 is 1 casualty, half effect for being in square is nothing. Right, I'll fire my 6 skirmishers against the built-up area with the KGL in it, 1 casualty. Then I'll fire my 2 skirmishers against Charlie's KGL skirmishers, no casualties. And then finally I'll fire my heavy artillery battery against the buildings. 11. Right, that'll do something.
-4, I think, for...
It's minus... It's half effect, so you're in cover, so I think we do that first. That takes it down to 10, and then it's half effect. So it's 1 casualty and... 1 casualty? Is that at long range? I think that probably is at long range. It looks like it's more than 24 inches. I will check after we've done this, but that's just 1 casualty on the KGL in the building.
And they're fine.
What did you get? They got 8. Alright. Not quite as effective firing as I expected. And for the first turn for many turns, I don't think we've got any melee, have we, Charlie?
No.
That's it. That's the end of turn 8. On we go with turn 9. Charlie is very happy, as you can hear. He's rolled successfully to bring his heavy cavalry brigade on, so things are looking very good for the British. That's 3 units of guards. We've got horse guards and life guards. I think it's 2 units of life guards and 1 unit of horse guards. So
Yeah.
We'll just have a look at one table. This is the first time these have been out together.
I might put them a bit forward so you can't really fit on.
Charlie can set those out. So some good news for the French. Both my 2 infantry brigades are active, and I managed to get infantry assault off on the largest brigade in the centre, so they are going to have a go at trying to drive into that hamlet and kick the KGL out. Unfortunately my cavalry is hesitant, but I'm not too concerned about that.
If he takes that, he won't, because I destroyed so many units.
Yeah, Charlie did point out to me with huge glee that he probably had already won, because at the moment it is 7 units destroyed or retreated off table in terms of 1 artillery battery and 6 French infantry battalions, so that gives him 14 victory points, and he holds 1 of the villages, so he's got at least half of the
18
terrain victory points. And for the French, we've just destroyed 1 British infantry battalion so far, and even that massive amount of firepower last turn was particularly ineffective. So we'll see how things go as we move into turn 8. Is it? No, it's turn 8, I think, Charlie. Oh no, you're right. I think it's turn 8, but I might be wrong. Here we go. Here's a close-up of the British heavy cavalry that's just arrived on the table.
And even the blue uniforms at the back.
And then having a look at the British. This is a great view actually of all of the British light cavalry in Charlie's army. Back. All very compressed, coming in down that road, looking to create havoc in the French army. On we go. So Charlie is just declaring his charges. At the beginning he was right, it is turn 9. And we've got the British Hussars going into that French column. Any other charges, Charlie?
Started to move. I'm going to start moving those guys up there, but...
You could charge the French cavalry through the trees if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Because the cavalry can go a long way on a charge move, 21 inches I think. They'll lose some for going through the trees, but I think they're probably still... travel, yeah, it's not a wood, it's just some trees so they can go through. So we'll measure those and move those in. Any other charges, Charlie?
No.
Okay. We'll just do that movement. Okay, now on to charge resolution. The French have also declared a charge. Charlie did a couple of shots out of his village by the KGL, but the French battalion took 2 casualties, but has moved forward. There's no charge resolution to go into buildings, so they're automatically in. French have 2 supports this time. Charlie has 1 support, so French might be able to get that village.
But that support is full health.
But his units are at full health. Alright, now let's do the Hussars charging into the French column.
Okay, so a column doesn't count as square. So.
No, but it's still quite good for defending against cavalry. So I've got 7. I've got a support, so I'm going to re-roll. And I've got another support, so I'm going to re-roll. I've got 11.
I got 10. So I do have one support, but I'm going to attach my general.
Yeah.
And
I will attach my general too.
so I get +1 for general, so I'm on 11.
Yep.
And that's what it is. So I can get.
You're not unformed. Infantry and column or square versus cavalry. So I get +2. I think you'll bounce off because I've got too high a roll, Charlie.
Can I just see if I can re-roll because I can re-roll it?
Yeah, if you want to.
I got 4 again, so it wouldn't
Still
change.
10. Okay, casualties in charge. Oh, I've got to do a defensive volley, haven't I, Charlie? As you come in, we'll just do that defensive volley. This will be at half effect. 9.
Half effect.
It's probably just 1 casualty, Charlie.
Didn't do anything.
9, standard volley. Oh, there's 3 casualties. Half effect is 1 and a discipline test, so you do have to take a discipline test.
Yeah, I only had 2 casualties, so it's now. So yeah, they're fine.
Okay. So we were doing the charge results. So I don't think there are any adjustments for you, Charlie. You've just got 2 casualties, yeah? We're the same. So you've got a 10.
Yeah.
And I've got a 11, 12, 13. So it's a -3. Cavalry versus infantry. This is why it's different against a column, Charlie. I get a bonus of +2 when you charge me, but on the combat results table, you have to be 6 or more to beat a square. You don't have to be 6 or more to beat a column, or indeed to charge home. But at -3, attacker, cavalry retires with 1 casualty.
Okay.
So you just move back behind
But
your infantry over there.
That one wasn't that key battle. This is a key battle of hopefully knocking out the French cavalry and hopefully artillery once and for all.
Okay, now we'll do the results for the chasseurs charging the French chasseurs. The light dragoons charging the French chasseurs. Light dragoons get 7. They've got a reroll because they've got a unit in support. They're on 11.
Luckily, the British cavalry get 11 too.
Okay, so the British cavalry have got 5 casualties. French cavalry have got 2.
No.
11, 9 rather.
Yeah.
So the French lose 2.
The
They go
British
down to 9. British lose 1. I'm campaign cavalry, you're battle cavalry. So I'm on 8. You're on...
I'm on... What did I change it out? Wait, so 11 minus 1 is 10.
10. Okay, and then I'm going to put my general in, which will take me up to 9. So you're on 10 and I'm on 9, so that'll be a charge. 1-to-1, it's a melee, counter melee. So we will fight that melee later on in the turn.
Both artillery guns and that cavalry
And this
unit.
one here, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one might be hidden by the trees.
No, you shot through the trees like 4 times. No, I'm not.
No, I shot that way.
I'm doing the same thing, so no.
Alright, I'll say you're high enough on the hill. Yeah, I think you need to fire at one of those units down there, Charlie.
No, I'm doing the cavalry.
No, come on, don't be silly.
I'm doing combat though, so I can't shoot at them.
No, you can shoot at those squares. You get a bonus for shooting
Oh,
at
yeah, I'm going to
squares.
shoot square. Ooh, 7.
7 at long range.
Shooting at square.
Battery at long range. No, this is at the cavalry. That's your further away battery. 7 is half a casualty.
Yeah, it's casualty.
Okay, they're on 8 now. We will measure the range because it is possible this battery is now out of range of everything, and we'll check your line of sight switch. Finally, Charlie is opening fire with his newly deployed artillery at my guns at -2.
Ooh.
9, 7. That's at effective range. A 7 is 1 casualty. I think it's the first casualty on that artillery battery, the least affected unit in the game.
I did a casualty the last turn.
Okay, yeah, you did. Okay, yeah, I think you're right. So that's 2. 2 on them. All right, that's the British firing done. Now, a chance. Oh, yeah, got some skirmishers in the woods there, Charlie. You can fire those at this cavalry.
Yeah, and cavalry. 1 casualty.
Okay, so they're on 9 now. Not so safe at the back here. All right, French firing. I'm going to fire this battery at the line. They're going to be at long range, I think. 5 at long range will be nothing. Okay, then I'm going to fire my horse artillery at the closer French battery, British infantry battalion.
Okay, that's medium range, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a 10. So that's 3 casualties and a discipline test, Charlie.
That's no minuses. They're fine.
They're unformed.
Yeah, that's not run away.
Not quite fine, but unformed. All right, then we'll fire the square at your light dragoons that are in front of us. Oh, 11.
That's still going to be quite bad.
That's 2 casualties and a discipline test on your light cavalry.
It would normally be like 6, so I really.
And then I'm going to fire my other square at the same target. 6.
Okay, that's nothing.
No, that's nothing.
Wait, does he normally get a 0 or?
It was a 1 for a standard volley.
Oh, I forgot to shoot my skirmishers in the building. My troops in the building.
No, because I've charged you, and you shot at me when I charged in.
Yeah.
All right. My skirmishers I should have moved. I'm sure Charlie will let me move them.
No.
All right, and then I've got my 2 skirmishers against your 2 skirmishers. A 6. That's 1 casualty against your KGL skirmishers at the end there, Charlie. Oh, they're gone. Wow.
There's only 1 base of them. Oh no,
There's 2 bases.
Yeah.
Oh no, there are 3 bases. You're right. Yeah, there's the guys in the rifle uniforms as well. All right. I think. Oh no, then I've got my artillery battery, which will not be able to fire. Can it fire anything?
No.
Let's have a look. Ah, yes, it's going to fire at the riflemen because unfortunately they sidestepped along to avoid my skirmishers and are now
The village is
in
in the way.
line
The
of
village
sight.
is in the way, Dad.
Ooh,
Did you
let me
really see-
say 5 or 6. I can see you. No, I can't see you. The village is in the way. All right. I don't think there's anything else for that artillery to fire at really. Everything else would be a bit of a stretch. Okay, let's get on with hand-to-hand combat in turn 9. Okay, doing the cavalry combat down here. So I start with 5 dice. I've got 9 casualties, so I lose 2 for that, don't I, Charlie?
Yeah.
And I'm campaign cavalry, so I'm also 1 worse. So I'm down to 2 dice. Charlie's got 5 casualties, so he's down to 4 dice. Let's roll. I cause a casualty.
I cause 1 casualty. We fight again.
Yeah, let's just check that.
We do fight again.
So we both cause 1. It's a draw. Cavalry versus cavalry. Fight on.
Yep. So I have 5 casualties. You
I
have
have 10. So it's still only. You have 6 casualties now because you were on 5 before. And
Yeah, but that doesn't change anything.
it doesn't change anything for either of us. So French. 1 casualty.
British. 2. They're gone.
They've wiped me out. That'll be a false test for my light cavalry brigade. He's too good at this. Okay, starting the combat over here. I start with 5 dice, lose 1 for attacking a built-up area. Charlie starts with 5 dice, loses 1 for... How many casualties you got, Charlie?
6.
But then gains 1 for being veterans. So he's on 5 dice, French are on 4. I hope it goes into the second round. That's pretty good. 4 casualties for the French.
And the British do 3, so it does.
Go into a second round. Right, one of the most decisive actions of the game, and I forgot to film it. That's a bit of a shame. Anyway, so the first round of combat, I don't know whether I filmed that. That was a small marginal French victory. We won 2 casualties to 1. Then we went into the second round, and all 3 KGL battalions were drawn in. And
It wasn't a marginal
because-
victory for the French. It was a British victory up there. And you said it was a French victory up there. It's not. It was a British victory. I wiped you out.
yes, Charlie is referring to the cavalry skirmish, where he did indeed wipe out my cavalry brigade. In the first round of combat in the village, the French battalion got in. Then the 3 KGL battalions counterattacked, and 2 more French battalions on infantry support came in to support them. We had a staggering number of dice in here. It was like 15 dice each or whatever. Anyway, the French beat the KGL by 2, so they have occupied the village. But I've still got a large number of casualties to dole out to my attacking infantry units. Okay, so we've just done the combat down here, and we're moving on to turn 10. We'll do French ADCs first. French have got a couple of falter tests to do. So we've got 3 brigades on the table.
Oh.
Got 2 ADCs, and then for my reserve brigade, my heavy cavalry, no.
Only it has
So
to
I've
be
got
one
2
ADC on both
ADCs.
of them.
Well, I'm going to put my re-roll on my big infantry brigade holding the village.
So the French cavalry goes straight away now. Cavalry's
Uh,
gone. It has to be on the other one.
You're right, I have to put one on each, don't I? So I don't get a re-roll. Okay. Alright, some important rolls now. So for the French cavalry,
3, they go off.
3, that's a retire.
They all go off.
I think, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, they all go off.
Let's just have a look. A 3 is a retire result. All remaining units retire, and the range for a retire move is 12 inches.
They all go.
Looks like all the French cavalry, unfortunately, is within 12 inches of the base edge. So the French Light Cavalry Brigade has withdrawn off the table. Now the important one for my big infantry brigade.
1, Savoy Keeper.
Right. I'm going to check the rules to see whether we did the casualty distribution right. Me and Charlie had a little bit of a dispute, and I think I would quite like, from at least a moral perspective, to hold on to the village. Charlie said I had to allocate all of my casualties to one infantry battalion of the 3 that were attacking, rather than distribute them evenly. We'll just see what the rules say.
Either yield or get.
So Charlie and I have done a long discussion, and we haven't been able to find it in detail in the rules. To me, it makes sense that if you fight with one unit against one in the first round, clearly they both take the relevant casualties. If you pile in 2 extra units and they all cause casualties, you should distribute those casualties amongst the attacking units, as opposed to what Charlie was saying, which is saying you should destroy one unit first, because that causes, as we have just seen, a falter test, when in reality the French did occupy that building, and they did cause 5 casualties in the second round, but that wouldn't have taken any unit close to its individual breaking point. So we've concluded that we will go with that interpretation of the rules. I think that's right, as I say. If you think that's wrong, give me a shout, drop me a message down below. But the French have successfully captured that building and haven't had to take a falter test on the bigger brigade. Charlie and I have decided to call it there. It feels unlikely that the British, in the remaining 2 more turns, are going to be able to recapture that village from the French, and a lot of the French position is now pretty solid. Not too many casualties have occurred on this flank, so the squares are fairly robust, and Charlie's artillery is a fair way away, so it's going to take him a long time and not really have much chance of whittling down the French squares. Alright, we finished the game, and although it was better for the French, it wasn't an unmitigated disaster this time. We do declare Charlie the winner. He has got 30 victory points. He wiped out the French cavalry brigade, infantry brigade that was on the left, and in that last turn of the game that we played in turn 10, he caused the 2nd brigade to break. That was the French Light Cavalry Brigade. He also captured or held that village that was initially occupied by the Hanoverians. They were kicked out and he recaptured them. So that takes him, as I say, up to 30 victory points. For the French, better than normal. They have destroyed the KGL Brigade. That was forced out of the village and forced to flee after that combat, and being close to the table edge, they went off table. So we did that, and their associated artillery went with them. And earlier in the game, we did have the joy of riding down one of Charlie's infantry battalions before the cavalry brigade were wiped out. Not a great exchange in summary. 1 infantry battalion for four cavalry units, but it was good fun while it lasted. So the French got 16 victory points. So well done, Charlie. Victory for the British, 30 points to 16. Hope you've all enjoyed the game. We'll just do one final table flyover so you can have a look at the positions as it finished, and then we'll see you next time.
You can download it now.
See you next time.